Hey, what's up you guys? It's Travis and today I'm doing a video for you guys. It's a video that I never thought I would have to make. It's kind of uncomfortable to make. It's gonna be a long one, so brace yourself, sit tight if you really care about this stuff. But I feel like it's time to do a video talking about our relationship. My relationship with you guys. And I've never really had to do something like this, but in the last few weeks I've noticed on my videos there is a ton of negativity that's going on in the comment section. And to be honest, I'm filming this video at 7 a.m. I got up and took a shower to film this video because I wanted to look nice for you guys, but I couldn't sleep last night because I posted a video and I saw another slew of negative comments, and there's so many of them, it's pretty much drowning my channel right now. And so I decided that it was time to just have a talk and express myself to you guys, because this isn't just entertainment, this isn't television, this is a relationship that I have with you guys. And I'm no stranger to negativity and hate and bullies and people saying terrible things to me, because that's just part of what comes with the territory of being on the internet. But the thing that's different about this is that it's happening at such a large capacity, and it's also from you guys, the people that have been supporting me and a part of my life for such a long time, and it's kind of a bummer. It feels like that my family has turned their back on me, and I don't feel defensive about that. I did initially feel like I wanted to be defensive and defend myself to you guys about the things that I was being accused of, but I decided to step out of my own perspective in this because I'm a pretty self-aware person, or at least I like to think I am, and I wanted to see where it was coming from, because obviously if it's happening so much suddenly, and especially in the last few weeks, there is something that I'm doing to add to that, and so I'm definitely not blaming you guys for that. Normally my policy on hate and negative comments is to just ignore them because I don't feel like you should give them any life. But these comments have come up so much that I decided that I'm going to answer some of the top concerns and questions, to put it lightly, that you guys seem to have right now. So that way we can kind of build back whatever we've lost in the last few weeks, which I'm confused, to be honest. I am a little bit hurt, and I've always prided myself in this channel on being authentic and being real and having a real relationship with you guys. And so I've been really hurt. I've been really sad by it, and I've tried not to be, because, you know, you gotta have a thick skin to do what I do, but I don't want to have a thick skin, and I don't want boundaries between us. I want there to be trust between us, and I want this to feel like a safe place for anyone, and I definitely don't want it to turn into a bullying channel or a negative channel or a tabloid gossip channel. I just want it to be real, and I want this relationship with you guys to be real, because you guys matter a lot to me, and you've always mattered a lot to me. And so I guess I'm just gonna get right into it. The first thing that I want to bring up immediately is the issue that I've seen come up several times in the last few weeks, which is about my stories being fake. Now, again, I was really upset about this because I have not told you guys a fake story. Now, with that said, I had to step out of my own perspective when I saw these comments come up and look at the stories that I was telling, especially in the last few weeks, and I can totally understand why they might seem fake. I don't really want to defend myself again. I guess I just want to explain why I waited so long to tell these stories and kind of my thought process on that. And so these stories, my dating stories, the ones I'm talking about specifically, are dating my prince ex-boyfriend, my royal ex-boyfriend, the celebrity that beat me, and I guess the more recent one about my model ex-boyfriend that cheated on me. And those are all very real stories, and I have people in my lives that are part of those stories that can definitely attest to that. And when I was being accused of being a liar about those stories, my instinct feeling was to want to show you guys the email that I sent to the celebrity when I first met him, because I do have that. And then the other one was to have my friend come on the channel and explain what happened when we boarded a flight to Las Vegas with my royal ex-boyfriend. And I don't know, even show the photo of the other ex-boyfriend who cheated on me, who I was up against for the magazine cover. And I just didn't feel like I needed to do that, because I've never given you guys a reason not to trust me. My channel is built on honest stories. I've shared so much of my life. I've been so open and so vulnerable that I don't know why I lost you guys' trust. The only reason I can think of that would make sense is just how crazy the stories are. Now, I want to apologize for the things that I've brought to this situation, for why you guys feel not so fantastic about me right now. I want to take accountability for that. I can't apologize for the stories that I've told you guys because I didn't do anything wrong. Those aren't lies. I did not make those stories up. Those people all exist. The things that I have changed in those stories are details about their names, what they did for a living to protect their identity, where they live. I try to change things to make sure that the people I'm talking about are protected, because that's a very important thing. Some of the people that I have talked about have been found out somehow through you guys, and they've received death threats, they've received hate, and that's not something that I want. I don't want to do that. I don't share my stories to spread hate. I don't share my stories to diss any of these people that were in my life, because I don't have any bad feelings about them. That's why I'm able to make content about them in the way that I do. And so, yeah, of course, I change my stories, the details of my stories, to protect people's identities, but the story themselves, they are true. They're not lies. I'm not making these stories up. And so people that know me in my real life know these stories are real because they've heard them over the course of the last 12 years. I decided to share these stories with you guys in a very short amount of time. These stories were spaced out over a long period of time. And so I understand, and it was a mistake on my part to share these stories in such a short amount of time, because it seems like there's no way that could possibly happen to someone in this timeline. But the thing is, these stories I'm telling you guys happened up to 10 to 12 years ago. Again, I understand it was a bad choice on my part. The timing of how I told these stories was not the best, but I did not lie, and I can't apologize for that. But I do apologize for how I delivered it. A lot of people wonder why I waited so long to tell these stories, because I've been doing YouTube for the last 2 years. The reason I waited is because I didn't know when the right time was to tell these stories. Apart from not knowing, I wrote that book, 10 Steps to Stop Being a Crazy Girl, which I've been talking about with you guys for the last 2 years. These are stories from my book. I have decided to share these stories from my book because the book's not published. It's been like 4 years and I haven't got it published yet. I'm not giving up on it because it's something that I really believe in, and it's also a self-help book, and it has a positive message, which is all I really care about at the end of the day. So I decided, when I decided to share my stories with you guys, share the stories from the book, I wanted to have that same thing come through, where I share these stories not just because I want to share random crazy stories of my life, but because there's always a message that's tagged onto the end of it, a lesson that I learned from it that I want to share with you guys. That's the whole point of the book that I wrote, 10 Steps to Stop Being a Crazy Girl. It's about 10 guys that I dated where there were crazy stories that happened, where I was in not a fantastic situation, but I stayed in situations I shouldn't have because I was a crazy girl. That's all I can say about that situation. But because, again, I want this to be a dialogue, because I really do care about what you guys say. I want this to be productive. I don't want anyone to be defensive or feel like your opinion's not being valued, because it does matter to me a lot. But I want you to comment below. For this video, if you comment below and give me a legitimate concern or a problem that you have or a question that you have, I will answer it. I will answer it for this video because I do want you guys to know that you are being heard and your opinion matters. You matter. So I want to rebuild this trust with you guys. I want to rebuild our relationship. I didn't handle the delivery of these stories super well. I didn't know how and when to tell these stories because they're crazy stories. It's my life. I have had a crazy life. That's just the way it is, and I cannot apologize for that because it was crazy. It hasn't been as crazy in the last year or so. I've gone on weird dates, but nothing like what I used to go through back in the day when I was modeling and I had a very crazy chapter of my life. I decided to share that with you guys because I wanted to share that part of my life with you. I felt comfortable enough to finally share that part of my life with you, and it wasn't super well received, but again, I get it. I apologize for how it was done. Going forward, I hope that I can be as open with you guys. I feel a little bit scared to share myself and share my stories with you because there are a few more that I wanted to share from my past. But I don't know, I'm just gonna kind of gauge, I guess, how this video goes, how you guys receive that, and then just kind of hopefully rebuild what we had before. That's my first point. The second point is, why do I always talk about dating and gay relationships and sexual related stuff. It comes down to the book. The reason I shifted my storytime videos to being about dating and sex and relationships is because I was trying to focus on the book. I was trying to brand the storytime videos to be about dating because that's what I'm fascinated by. I love the idea of talking about relationships. I love how people's minds act in relationships, the psychology behind it. I've always been fascinated with that. I also have a lot of experience in dating that I want to share with you guys. Yes, I went through a lot of pain in my relationships. I've been through a lot of bad relationships, and I don't blame the guys that I was with. I can't excuse their actions, but I understand that I also chose to stay with people that weren't the best for me. I get the frustration from that too, because that's another concern I've seen you guys have, that I've decided to stay with people that weren't very good to me, and I keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. But I will say that I have learned a lot, especially in this last year, about dating and relationships and siren. So I've learned a lot about myself, and I know that I was making a lot of mistakes. A lot of it comes from my childhood, where I came from, and acknowledging where that comes from, why I'm so willing to overlook people's treatment of me and allow them to walk all over me, and I keep staying with them, and that's something that I've had to deal with. That is an honest concern. I get your guys' frustration with that. I've worked on it quite a bit because it does show a lack of self-esteem. I had low self-esteem when I allowed these guys to treat me the way that I did. That's the whole reason I wrote the book that I wrote, because it's about finding self-worth and self-esteem and not allowing yourself to be walked all over, because when you do finally get some self-respect and treat yourself well and understand your worth, only then will you attract someone that's worth your time, that will treat you as good as you deserve. That's the whole message I'm trying to convey. So by sharing my stories, it's not because I'm trying to get a pity party for the things that happened to me. And I wish that would have come through in the way that I edit my videos, because I make them like a whole experience. I do the sound effects, the music, and I make it so much more than just a random raw vlog like this where I'm expressing my honest self, because I want it to be entertaining for you guys. I want to make you laugh, and I want to make you smile, or just feel like you relate to something that I went through, because that's the whole reason I do this channel. I have that quote on my arm that I've talked about before. Be patient and strong. Someday this pain will be useful to you. I went through a lot of pain in my life. I went through a lot of really terrible things, and again, that's not like asking for a pity party, it's just my truth. Being able to share these stories with you guys on the internet and find people that not only connect with what I went through, but also having those stories help those people means more to me than anything, and so that's why I continue doing what I do. But the reason I talk about dating as much as I do is because of the book. I realize I can't build a whole channel talking about that, I suppose, and so I'm going to be venturing in other areas, but I just wanted to let you guys know that's why. That's why I'm not obsessed with relationships. I have a very balanced life. I hang out with my friends. I work a ton. I love creating. I love writing stories. There's so much more to my life than just dating and relationships. But I understand why it may look like that's all I'm focusing on, because that's what I share with you guys, because I feel like that part of my life is something that kind of ties along with what I want to put out there, which is my book. But I understand that that's not a balanced life. You guys want to see more than just that. And so going forward, I'm going to be shifting the way I do Storytime Fridays. I will also talk about my dating life, because that is a part of my life, but I understand that that's not something that you guys want to hear about all the time. So, noted. The third thing that I want to address is sponsorships. A lot of people have had issues with sponsorships and me having to do those on my channel. I will say that YouTube is a full-time job. I work every single day making YouTube videos. If I'm not filming or editing, I am planning, I'm having meetings, I'm developing ideas, developing concepts, especially with Lifestyle Mondays. I'm always trying to think of different ways and things to share with you guys, because I love that. I love Lifestyle Mondays. I'm so happy that I've been able to do that with you guys, because I get to share more than just myself. I get to share information that's helpful to you guys, whether it be grooming, health, fitness, beauty, skincare, things that really matter a lot to me that I never really had an opportunity to share. So when I started Lifestyle Mondays, I finally got an opportunity to do that and share these things with you, and I'm very happy about that. So because of that, I'm often talking about products that you guys wouldn't normally know about, because when I'm getting contacted by companies that want to share their products on my channel, I go through so many to see which ones fit on the channel, which ones I would want to see on a channel. When I'm sharing things with you guys, it's things that I actually like, things that I think would actually benefit you guys. And so there's consideration put into play before I decide to introduce a brand to you guys on the channel. With that said, YouTube does not make me money just by posting videos. And I never did YouTube just to make money. I love doing it. But because it's a full-time job that I work on 7 days a week, well over 40 hours a week, I can't justify putting that much time into one thing and not getting some sort of compensation from that, because I could not possibly have another full-time job to live and also do this full-time as well, because it's just not possible. I don't have enough hours in the day. And so I do get kind of defensive about that because I need to make a living. And for people that complain about sponsorships and brand deals, I'm sorry. That is a part of YouTube culture now because of how things have changed. A lot of my content isn't monetized because it has gay content. The fact that I say anything gay gets my video demonetized, so it makes $0. I don't make anything from ad revenue. And so as a YouTuber, you have to think of other ways to make ends meet. If you want to continue doing what you love, which I do love doing this, that is why brand deals are very important. They're a very important part of my channel, and when I'm sharing them with you guys, they're people that I really believe in, they're companies that I believe in, and so I don't see anything wrong with that. And for the people that continuously say, we should just do this for fun and you shouldn't do any sort of sponsorships, it's a full-time job, and I don't think you realize that when you're watching these videos, how much work goes into making them come to life. So when you're willing to show up to your job for 40 hours a week and just not get a paycheck because you're there for the fun of it, then I guess you have a little more grounds to, you know, accuse YouTubers of being sellouts, or I don't know what the problem is with having brand deals on there. I guess it makes people wary of whether or not to trust you, but I have careful consideration about what I put on the channel. And again, if you're willing to go without a paycheck for your job, then I guess you have room to talk to me about that. But that's the truth. It takes a lot of time to produce these, and to expect to go without payment for that is a little bit unrealistic. And so if brand deals and sponsorships are a huge concern for you, I'm sorry. That is a part of the channel. That is how I continue to make content. And so I cannot change that. I will continue sharing with you guys brands that I believe in, products that I believe in. It's all part of my grooming lifestyle series that I really love sharing with you guys. And so I appreciate those who support the brands. It means a lot. It's what I love doing. And so thank you to everyone that supported that all this time. But I just needed to say that right there. The last thing I want to talk about is track. Oh. I understand you guys' frustrations because we never really did a formal video of saying why we stopped doing the track videos. We did that for a reason, because there was some other project that we were doing that we wanted to launch together to share with you guys before we talked about taking some time apart from each other. But the thing is, track is not going to happen anymore. Track never really ended though. Like, Jack and I are still really good friends, but what that channel became kind of started to become a problem for us. It started overwriting our individual selves and our individual channels, and that was a problem because it still spills into my comments about where's Jack, no matter how much time has passed. And I get that there's not been any closure about that. The closure is nothing happened between Jack and I. We've always been friends. We've been nothing but friends. We did an online boyfriend relationship channel because it was fun. We loved doing videos together and we got along great and we had great chemistry, and I loved being with him. But the amount of work that went into that channel, it was a lot, and it was so much more than we could handle while still trying to manage our own channels. And our own channels were our babies. You know, we've had those things for a couple of years. Jack's had his for like 5 years. And so it took a lot of effort to come together to film these videos because he lives like 40 minutes away from where I do. So doing that every single week, it just became too much. It was too much to handle. And so that is it. We're totally fine. We're still friends. And I was supposed to do a video this week because of last week's poll telling you guys we were going to do a track video together. But I felt like these issues needed to be addressed first because it's been a growing problem. And I just felt like it was time to address that. And so I hope that's everything. If there's any other big questions or comments or concerns that you guys have, again, I want this to be a dialogue. Nothing is taboo as long as it's worded politely and with respect that expresses a true, legitimate feeling. I'm here to listen to that because I don't want this to turn into a troll channel or a hate channel or a gossip channel or just a channel where people want to watch me fall. That's not what I want this to be. I get why other YouTubers do that, but I'm not that person. I like my relationship with you guys. I've always loved my relationship with you guys, and it's been a great couple of years, and I want to move forward the way we always have, with a positive relationship between us. Because if this is a real relationship, I mean, we've gone 2 years without a single fight, and so this is a pretty big deal. And so again, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know down in the comments below. But I just wanted to have this talk. I wanted to express how I really felt and hopefully clear the air so we can move forward in a more positive way. And so that's it. And I guess that's all I have for right now. So thank you guys so much for watching. and I'll see you next time.